Hey gang, Scott here. Let's talk about embracing constraints. And why this is at the forefront of my mind is a recent outing that I had where a couple of different things really constrained what I was going to be able to do with the camera. And I did a podcast on this topic moons ago. I'll put a card or a link up here so you can listen to that if you're inclined to hear more about the topic. But the notion, is that, there are going to be things that constrain what you can do with your camera, and it's embrace that. Work with it, go with the flow, right? Don't try to force something that's not there, and take the constraints and do your best to turn them to either an advantage or at least to focus your work, your attention on what's possible as opposed to lamenting what isn't possible. So I went out to the ocean recently to do some photography, and the first constraint that I had was weather. It was very overcast. I'll show you a little clip here. There's like nothing going on. The surf was low. The waves were uninteresting. Even when they hit the shore, they were just kind of slow and meandering, and they weren't going to create a really strong lines with like a surge of water. And all of that put together meant, okay, constraint number one, nothing in the sky. I need to be looking at the foreground. I need to be looking for interesting rock formations. And what can I possibly do with those types of subject studies with that combination of rock and water? Like, all right, that's constraint number one. So then that narrowed down. I'm looking for interesting shapes and trying to put together a composition where different rocks play nice together, make something pleasing. Then the second constraint, which was of my own doing, my remote trigger. The battery was dead. And, why does that matter to me? Well, I like to do a little bit of a longer exposure. And when you're working at the ocean, trying to time, when to fire the trigger for, that half second, 1 second, 2 second exposure. Well, without the remote trigger, I had to rely on the 2 second timer in the camera. And so that became the additional challenge of, well, now I not only need to predict, when to start the frame, but I need to predict like what the ocean's doing like 3 seconds in advance. If I'm going to start the timer and then 2 seconds later, the water's going to hit where I think it's going to hit and then fill in the frame. And so I'm going to show you some photos here where that became a problem. And these are all just raw, unprocessed, right out of the camera, nothing done to them. And here's the first one where I was really looking to try and get more surge of water through the foreground. Kind of missed on this. The center part's pleasing, not bad. And if I just isolate on that, like if I were to just like focus and crop and just say, this is the subject, I'm going to get really tight on a particular subject study. Yeah, maybe. This one, this is where the lazy surf just is not helping me, because you saw in that little video clip, the water would come in, it would kind of meander around. It's the white foam that creates those lines. And when it's just kind of lazily kind of just oscillating back and forth on the surface of the water, not moving with direction, this just falls flat. Same thing, same problem here. This was a complete miss. I didn't time it right. Totally missed the timing on this one. I think I was trying to capture the ebb as the waves went back out. Complete miss. This is probably the best of the lot that I was able to get, and not the worst. I would have really loved to have seen a little bit more with the foreground, or my subject, I should say, the center part of the photo. But the lines aren't too bad in the foreground. This was like the best of the set that I was able to capture. So okay, this is kind of working. It's kind of not working. I'm really struggling. I'm happy I got one that I was all right with. It's like, all right, well, with this constraint of not really being able to time for like getting like a half second or a 1 second exposure, because I really have to time the surge of the water right. What else can I do? Well, I can go extra long and kind of go for more like smoky water. And so that's what I did, changed up the composition and, went in that direction where the timing, when I have to start the exposure is less important, because it's, going to be 3, 5, 10, longer seconds where the ocean becomes really, really smooth. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you the compositions here. So I changed my positioning, and this rock here, this is actually the same one you were seeing from the other composition, just from its side. I perched myself up on a different rock and then did these longer exposures. And so, here's one where not too bad. It's definitely a very different feel. And what I was after was a little more visibility in these mid-ground rocks. So, just kept trying. Kind of okay. The light was a little bit dimmer. This one's pretty good, and actually was able to get some foam in the foreground. This one is probably my favorite of the set, where I've got nice separation between all the elements. There's enough of that smoky water there. One more where it was filled in a little bit more. But the point of all this being to take those constraints. In my case, very boring weather and very boring surf. So I need to be looking for interesting foreground subjects, and then make the surf a secondary player and the sky almost irrelevant. And even looking back at this photo here, when I do finally get to working on this, that sky is going to get cropped. I mean, there's no reason to have that 1/3 or so blue-gray band along the top. That's just not helpful. But when I am capturing, I'll tend to zoom out just a little bit so that I have that latitude in post to crop in if I want to. Got plenty of pixels, no problem there. But back to the constraints thing, finding those subjects, and then in my case a technical constraint where timing the surf using the 2-second timer was proving challenging. Got one I was reasonable with, said let's pivot, let's do something else, and go extra long with the exposures where the start and end on the exposure time didn't matter as much because the ocean's going to just all smooth out. Well, I hope you found this interesting. I think this can apply to a lot of different situations. I'm a seascape kind of guy, so I'm talking about seascapes. But anywhere where you have limitations on what the field or what your equipment is going to be able to deliver, well, work with it. Lean into it. Don't try to don't lament that you can't do X, Y, and Z. Figure out if you can do A, B, or C. That's it. Got questions? Drop them below. And until next time, my name is Scott Davenport. Have fun.